And we are back. I don't typically get excited for guests. I mean, I've only been doing a few videos with guests, but this is a conversation I'm really excited for. My guy, Brendan Sims, aka Smoke Souls NBA. I'm excited for this one. I appreciate you joining the channel, bro.
I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Hey, for sure. Quick backstory. It's kind of funny how like we even became connected because I just remember randomly scrolling through TikTok, and I think the video that you made was appreciating Drew Holiday and his offhand, like how he's so good with the left. And I think I liked the video and I commented like John Wall was really nice with his left hand too. And then you posted a video replying to that comment. And ever since then, we followed each other and we just been supporting each other ever since. It's just crazy how like TikTok actually came up with something good.
Right. the one time TikTok actually worked in a positive way.
Nah, for sure, man. Before we get into the basketball talk, which is going to be a lot of Miami Heat talk in this episode, just tell the people where they can find you on your platforms and what is your content all about.
So yeah, you go on my bio on Twitter, you can just see all my links. I'm writing for the Timberwolves, like the Timberwolves blog right now. Writing a little bit of WNBA for another blog. Still super deep into the videos, like the TikTok videos, making YouTube videos. And for me, I really just try to appreciate kind of, first of all, the skill in basketball, like not just the legendary, the all-time stuff, like the actual skill, like the game of basketball. I feel like it's a difference in like the fandom these days. Like it's a lot of fans that's just literally all-time talk. Like I want to talk top tens, best shooting guards, all that stuff. Just a whole bunch of random lists. And like them lists cool to do sometimes, but just the fact that we all see the game so differently, it's just not the best thing to talk about. I feel like for me, it's not the most entertaining thing I would say. So a lot of my content is not that. So like if you coming for that, like yeah, I talk about the past sometimes and to appreciate it, but I'm not doing all time stuff, and I probably won't because I don't really care. So yeah, skill, the actual game of basketball, just two sides of the court, man. Like you say, like I love offense stuff, offense passes, offense finishes. So definitely have to, appreciate Drew Holiday. He's so underrated in that aspect. But just stuff like that, just stuff that's not a lot of fans really talking about. Just trying to get people they shine. I don't really get a lot of.
No, I agree 100%. Like you mentioned, his links are all going to be in the description. So make sure you give him a follow on all platforms, check him out. And I wanted to touch on real quick before we get to the Miami Heat talk. You did mention that you write for the Timberwolves. How's that experience been so far? Because I don't want to say it's out of your element because you've been writing previously, but you're looking at a different team. You're focusing on one team. So how has this experience been so far?
Man, it's been straight, but I really like it. I like the editor. He really is helping me improve my writing and stuff. Because originally I went to school for journalism, but ended up changing to psychology. Went that route, so I gotta, that's what I ended up getting a degree in. So kind of went away from journalism. So don't really have all the like grammatical stuff I should know, basically. So yeah, the editor, he really the real MVP. That's my boy, always giving me good feedback. But as far as just writing this, like the actual content, it's been kind of tough. Like definitely had to go back and trying to watch some Timberwolves stuff and really get like into the culture, like really understand everything. Because it's kind of hard to just speak about a fan base that you really have no real prior knowledge on. Like I liked Anthony Edwards this whole season. Vando was my favorite Timberwolf. Like flat out. Like I watched a lot of Timberwolves games to see Vando just harassing perimeter players. Like I just love that type of stuff. I remember they was playing Portland and he was just checking Anthony Simons full court, like the whole third and fourth quarter. So that's my favorite player. So I like the Timberwolves this season, and I'm higher on Rudy Gobert than most. Like I feel like Rudy is a winning player, and the narrative is just weird. But I know he has his flaws, but he's still a good player. So kind of already like the Timberwolves, but like I said, just trying to get inclined with the culture, understanding everything. That's been real interesting. So I'm still working on it to this day, like trying to talk to Timberwolves fans, seeing that. I'm really seeing that stuff on Twitter a lot lately since I've, started writing for that blog. So yeah, just trying to interact and just understand the culture more.
Definitely. I'm sure. Yeah, that's just got to be a whole different realm, but it's good to tap into that. Didn't know that you went to school for journalism. That's what I'm going for right now. And like AP style is so different from actually just regular writing. So it's hard to like adjust to like writing articles and stuff because it's this very specific way to write some things. So I applaud you, man. Like getting back into that realm, chasing those dreams. I love your work. Like I actually read your articles. I actually really do enjoy them. So shout out to you. Real quickly, before we get to Miami Heat, you're a hoop head, like you just love basketball, you watch a lot of WNBA, and not a lot of people can say that. So just talk really quickly, who are like some of your favorite players to watch in the W this year?
Man, like every time I watch a game, I feel like somebody else jump off the screen. It's like, man, that's nice. That's a nice skip pass. But I just watched Alyssa Thomas match up with Breanna Stewart, so that's fresh on my mind. So I definitely have enjoyed watching her. Chelsea Gray, like I'm really trying to get back, like super back into the WNBA. Like when I was a kid, like when the Shock was here in Michigan, really I was like a fan. But, I watched it a lot and stuff. We tried to go to games and all that stuff. So trying to get back into it. But before the season started, I tweeted like, yeah, Chelsea Gray, that's one of my favorite players. I just remember her from the finals a few years ago, just going crazy. Got a nasty handle, a post fade. Like this is like a small guard. This is like Chris Paul was just like a dominant scoring mentality when they want to. Always making timely shots, bailout shots. And she's like the fourth or fifth option, or the fourth option for the Aces. That's a great team. Second best team in the league, Chicago Sky, led by Candace Parker, CP3. Yeah. Really, I was super into the Liberty. Like they went on a good little winning streak. Sabrina Ionescu, she was going crazy. And she's a bucket. Man. And the best part about her is like she really makes passes every game that I'm like, man, how did you see that? And she got a lot of range on her. I love players like that. When the defense like has to come guard you differently because you can shoot it from so far and you can make the good decisions, you know what I mean? She got like, when she get into her hang dribble, that's like her size up move. She trouble. She's gonna be one of the best in the league very soon. And I just want to shout out Sky Dig. She's been going crazy this year. Like,
nah, facts.
I've been looking at stuff. This might be her career best season, but I gotta keep looking at stuff and keep trying to, watching stuff. Like I got League Pass and you can watch, I think, games from like 2015. Oh. So like, yeah, even during the NBA season, it's gonna be hard to like constantly do both. But I want to try to like really get into the history of WNBA too, so I can like really kind of know how I know the NBA and really, really talk about the sport and write about it and just help put it on the map like it should be. All the comments and the trolls and stuff is just so lame. It's like, man,
thanks.
It's basketball, bro. Like it's not that deep. Like it's a different type of basketball. Like, can you not go to a middle school game, AAU game, and enjoy it? Like that's not the same as the NBA. And I don't really understand why you have to compare it to the NBA. Like it's basketball, it's its own thing. Like when you watch do you watch the Euro League? Do you compare that? Like they don't have a lot of triple doubles either. Like people bring up the triple double jokes and stuff like that, but less time, less possessions, is more team focused. But they kind of trending the other way. They got some players that's going crazy. That's like they kind of one-man armies. Like how the NBA, we got all the dynamic point forwards like LeBron, Luka. They can just carry a team. Mm-hmm. WNBA is they getting more similar archetypes to that, where it's just one player that can really put the whole team on their back by like putting it on the ground, just killing, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I think the respect is gonna change soon. That's a lot of them little kids that be doing that troll stuff. So, but they'll grow up. That's how
I think people just don't understand like women's basketball. Like overall, it takes a lot more skill to be a dominant women's player. Like in the WNBA, it takes a lot more skill than in the NBA. Like some guys in the NBA, like they can get by just by being a freak athlete. In the WNBA, you really have to be really skilled at a lot of different things to be as effective as some of the top players that you just mentioned. So like people just don't understand that. Like, I remember I commentated some high school basketball back in 2020, 2021, and the best games I commentated were like girls games in the tournament. Like, those were the best games, the most like down to the wire games, big time shots. Like, those were the most competitive games that I got to see in person. So I just think, hopefully, like you said, in the future, women's basketball becomes more appreciated, more watched, so they can get all the respect that they do deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, man. I think it's coming though, because I think like I know Twitter is not the best place to like get this kind of information from, but it is becoming more likely that if you comment something crazy, somebody check you and then they ratio you. Little kids love to say ratio, but like that's become I'm seeing that more often. I didn't see that years ago. Like I used to see all the jokes years ago and nobody would say nothing. So I think just the fact that that's even a thing, I know that's small and like I said, it's from Twitter, but that can help. I mean, that's like a beginning, I feel like. And I feel like ESPN, they could do more. Like they say nobody watches it, but if you put it out there, like if you promote it like how you could, would be different, I feel like. Like they just had a Commissioner's Cup game and that was on like Amazon Prime. Like that was like it's like a mid-season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like the two best teams in the league, they played the other day. Like if that was on ESPN and you just push more of it, I feel like that would have helped bring the casual fan that's not swung one way or another. Because it is a certain group of people right now that's like, oh, I'm not whatever. But it's that casual fan out there. If that was on ESPN, you might catch them. So, everybody can help do their part to help it grow. But the players is good, man. That's the bottom line. It's good basketball.
No, definitely. Shout out to the WNBA. Free Brittany Griner. Hopefully she comes home soon. And let's transition now. That was a lot of great basketball talk, but let's get to what this episode is all about. People probably wondering, like, man, they're talking about everything except for what's in the title, man. The Miami Heat. That's your team. We had a duel in the conference finals, man. It was a hell of a series. First question I got, do you think Jimmy Butler took the right shot there?
I do, man. It's like
I knew you would say that. I knew you would.
Like I'm kind of players first, and it's like you gotta look at it from a player's perspective, man. Like I've been going crazy this series. I'm really the best player on the floor. I played 100 minutes that game. Can I even win it overtime? Like I've been carrying, I've been killing, but I'm exhausted, and I'm in my bag right now. The momentum of the game, we flowing. We went on that crazy, was it like an 11-2 run? Maybe something crazy like that. Max Drew hit that crazy side step, fake shoot. So it's like we got the momentum, we rolling. If I make this shot, I'm the greatest Miami Heat player since D-Wade and LeBron and all that. So I'm not mad at it at all. Some people say he could have attacked Al Horford, but he was playing good basketball that series, man. All that stuff is a factor, and I think the fatigue, I get it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Nah, like everything you just said is like on the money. Like the series he had, even through the knee injury, you live and die with that shot, and he made that same shot earlier in that game. And it was money. Like he made that same exact shot. And yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 2020. Like, yeah, he could have attacked Al Horford. But I mean, if he makes that shot, like you said, he's a hero. Like he's a Heat legend right there. So like I knew you would say like you thought like you're gonna live with Jimmy Butler, like for sure. But in my opinion, I didn't think the Heat would even make it like beginning of the season. I didn't know that they would be a conference finals team with a chance to go to the NBA finals this year. Even though you guys made a lot of big moves in the offseason, getting Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, bringing in Markieff Morris among some of those moves. What was your opinion? Like, did you think going into the season, like this is a championship or bust type year, or were you satisfied with making it to the conference finals? Like this was a successful season?
Yeah. It definitely was a championship or bust for me. Like, it's a lot of key fans that I see that do have that type of mentality, but when you don't even have one of those guys, it can never be a championship or bust season to me. Like, how can you expect it to be when somebody else has that guy that can go get 50? I mean, playoff Jimmy is a real thing, but still different. It's still different than like Giannis, KD, still whatever, Steph, LeBron, still different. So it was never a championship or bust for me. But I do think at like a certain point, maybe In the middle of December, I was like, he gonna grab that 1 seed. Now, throughout the season, I was consistent. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means we're the best team in the East, honestly. Like, I hate that I'm telling you this because I really don't analyze the Heat like that. But I was never, I never thought that. Maybe I never thought we were better than the Bucks. I didn't think that. I thought this whole year the Bucks would come out of the East, and I thought they would win the championship because they had Chris Middleton. So I was never convinced that we were the best team in the East, but I knew for the regular season we had a team that was built to really make some noise. And the Bulls, I didn't believe in them from the beginning. Even before the losing streak to the good teams, I wasn't sold. I just didn't think that I thought if teams went zone against them, like Miami for sure would, but if other teams went zone, they didn't have a lot of answers. So I wasn't really sold on them when they were the 1 seed. So that's kind of why I also thought, yeah, we can grab that. And Boston, not
came out of nowhere
in the conversation, like 9th, 8th or 9th. That was crazy.
Yeah, we was like 10th or 11th for a good stretch of like December, early January for real. Which is like, it's crazy because you said that like you thought in December you guys would be the 1 seed. But what's crazy to me is like all season long, you guys had somebody out. It seemed like either it was Jimmy out missing games, Ben missing a nice chunk of the season, Kyle Lowry missed a lot of games. And still, you guys were able to win games. Like I remember you guys went into Phoenix. I think Jimmy got hurt. And you guys still won that game by like 20 points because like Tyler Hero had a big game and then Max Strus had a nice game. Omer, your 7 had a good game. Like
Duncan Robinson, that was the Heat win of the season in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, like the Heat culture is a real thing. You guys always have somebody come out of nowhere or multiple players come out of nowhere and become really like impactful players. Just talk about the Heat culture real quick. Like what is this like a real like persona that this team has embodied?
Yeah, it seemed like it, man. You know, they call Pat Riley the Godfather. You know, he got his capos in order, man. Everybody handle their business. You know, they got the body fat requirement. I did just hear today that the Spurs had that too. I think Richard Jefferson said that on like a road tripping podcast with Duncan Robinson. Didn't know the Spurs did that episode, but you know, I thought Miami was the only team, but you know, gotta stay in shape down there. Gotta stay in shape. I feel like that's one of the things that separate them from other teams around the league. Gotta play defense or you won't play. Now, people gonna say, "Oh, what about the liabilities that play now?" It's like, yeah, they play, but in the playoffs, they weren't out there. Max Strus turned himself into not a liability in the playoffs. He was holding his own, even beyond the injury James Harden. That's some people will say. Even beyond that, he still held his own. Like, yeah, Jaylen Brown, he got the best of Max Strus, but I feel like that was the only matchup in the playoffs that I was like, that's a tough one for Max. But sometimes dude just got your number, and it's like unexplainable. Like sometimes archetypes just work well against another archetype. Jaylen Brown, his craft, that was the only matchup I feel like Max Strus was like, you know, he couldn't do much. But Gabe Vincent, another guy from in that Heat culture, they just find the right guys that, you know, they want to work hard. I don't know how they do it. Like, how do they find the personalities that will fit the culture? It's crazy.
And they do it every year. Gabe Vincent's another, like, he's like probably my favorite Miami Heat player right now. Like, I don't know why. I just love watching him. I love his tenacity on defense. He always picks up, like, you know, the speedy point guards. Like, he did a pretty good job against Tyrese Maxey in that series. Big fan of his. Who impressed you the most out of, like, the undrafted guys or the guys that kind of came out of nowhere? There's, like, Caleb Martin, Max Strus. Your 7 had a nice run. Gabe Vincent. Who impressed you the most?
You already said it, bro. Caleb Martin. I think that he'll start at the 4 this year. The 3-4, whatever. You know, we a super versatile team. Anybody can guard anybody. So the forward position really don't matter. Jimmy and Kyle initiate the offense. So that's how we rock. But Caleb Martin, bro, the energy that he plays with, guarding 94, he will take the toughest matchup if PJ is not out there, or, you know, if there's a better matchup for Caleb, he'll take the tougher matchup. I think I want to see him shore up some things like maybe rotational wise and maybe not gambling as much, because now he's about to like play heavy minutes. But if he does that, he is a flat out elite defender, because as a one-on-one defender, Caleb Martin is great. Made some threes on low volume. Don't know how much I'm believing in that, but at least 37%, at least respectable, to the point where teams just can't plug the paint on him. So I was very pleased with what I saw from him. He had a game in Toronto where he was just amazing. So definitely, he's one of my favorite Heat players in general, let alone just the Heat culture guys. And there's so many undrafted Heat players.
A lot.
All rotational players in the NBA. It's amazing.
For sure. Caleb had some moments in the conference finals too, where like he came in, played really well. I think game 3 was one of probably his best games of that series. So that's actually a good like transitional point, because you mentioned PJ Tucker and you think Caleb Martin's gonna kind of consume that role. I don't know how to word this. Do you think it's gonna be like that big of a loss losing PJ Tucker?
It is a loss, but it is a problem if you're dependent on a 36-year-old power forward that doesn't average over 10. Like and I understand like basketball is about roles and every person on the team is important, but should we really be dependent on PJ Tucker? Or like we're gonna have a bad season if we lose PJ Tucker? I feel like that's a problem if that's what it is. Now, Caleb is obviously a much better athlete at this stage at their careers right now. He could put it on the ground and he could attack closeouts better. PJ could attack closeouts. He can get to his little floater, but I like Caleb attacking more in the way he's gonna try to finish. He's gonna try to dunk on people and really finish through fight through contact and stuff. PJ might be a slicker passer, so we might lose some creation off the closeouts, but Caleb will close out. I mean, he will attack closeouts more than PJ. But on defense and just that heart and stuff, you can't replace that. So shout out to PJ. I appreciate him coming, trying to get this ring, but he had to get that bag, man. That extra year, can't blame him.
Yeah, it's tough because he, like you said, he's 36, but this is his basketball prime. This is the best basketball he's ever played in his NBA career. So you can't fault the guy for going to get his bag. But I do think it is kind of a tough loss. I didn't really think about Caleb Martin in that sense, but he is somebody that kind of popped up off the radar last year and really showed that in a smaller role, he could be very impactful. I am now interested to see what he can do in a much bigger role, because they're going to need him. I mean, outside of that, who else do you think can maybe step up this year and take on a bigger role, since Caleb Martin, in your opinion, is going to be a starter?
Yeah. I think Tyler Hero is going to start at the shooting guard position. Another year, Victor Oladipo, he had, as you know, some good spurts. He was hit or miss, but when he hit, he really did hit. And he kind of hit defensively, at least with his quick hands throughout the whole playoffs. So I'm expecting him to have a much better season. Year 7, there's been a lot of talks about maybe him and Bam playing together.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
I mean, I am, but I'm not at the same time. Because I think they keep saying if year 7 can shoot threes, maybe it can work. But I'm like, no, Bam should be the one shooting threes.
Yes.
Bam is 6'9.5" center. That's versatile enough to guard 1 through 5. You should be shooting threes and shooting mid ranges and stuff like that. And if year 7 can shoot, that's just a plus. But so I don't know. Year 7 defensively wasn't the best, but he had a double stretch that was very nice. Like you said, that Phoenix game, he was great. He had a great stretch. At a certain point, I had him on my second team all rookie in December or January. One of them was he was balling. But I think Gabe Vincent will step up too next year. We'll see Kyle Lowry if he can come back. He had a very confusing season, with personal stuff. So I feel like all of that stuff contributed to the type of season he had. So yeah, Gabe Vincent is another guy I'm expecting to step up too.
Yeah, for sure. VO, you're right. He was kind of up and down, but I remember, I think it was game 3. I swear he had 6 or 7 steals in that third quarter alone. Probably didn't get credit for all of them, but it seemed like he had 6 or 7 either steals or deflections. JB had 40, but he was in his pockets that entire second half.
It was the craziest stuff. Jaylen Brown is flat out balling, dominating this game. But when Victor Oladipo stepped up on him, he was nothing. He wasn't that guy. Not the guy who was just putting up 40.
Man, like he might have had if Vio did not play in that game, he might have had 50. Like that's how good he was playing until Oladipo was in front of him, man. Just crazy. Hopefully he can get back to just consistent form because that's a big addition if he is. Because we saw how good you guys were, especially defensively when he was playing at his best. But if he's hitting shots, man, he's gonna be a big piece for y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Just glad he came back because I kind of wasn't expecting it.
Nah, like, not at all.
Yeah, you heard all the noise. They said he was leaving. I'm like, man, I want to see him back. So, and we gave him some good money. Like, yeah. So I'm happy for him, and I think, yeah, I'm very excited to see him play this year. If he comes off the bench for the whole year, man, if he play the way he can play, he gotta. 6 man ain't nobody goal. That's like his caliber, what he trying to accomplish. But you know, he can play at that level.
Definitely. Real quick, talk a little bit about the draft. Nikola Jovic, your guys' first round pick. What are your impressions of him so far? I know you've definitely dived into his film, so go ahead, talk to me about him.
Definitely, you know, in summer league, he didn't kind of play the role I thought he would play. Because you watch over there, he played as like the creator a bit more than he played in summer league. In the summer league, he kind of looked like a traditional, not a traditional four, but a modern day four. Pop out, put it on the floor, attack closeouts and stuff, but not the play initiator that I kind of watched overseas. And I knew that coming into the league would be an adjustment, playing against much different types of athletes. So I knew it would be a difference defensively and like attacking the rim. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by him in that four role. Because if he's not, because he has the guard skills. So if he can like bulk up, if he's really playing the four, he can take advantage of a lot of different types of mismatches. If teams are sticking like bigger guys on him, like I said, he has the guard skills. And, you know, I think the Heat are one of the best development staffs, along with the Raptors and the Warriors, Spurs, OKC maybe. But yeah, so if that's the archetype he's going with, I think if he frames out, he could really make something good with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned like your guys' staff, because not only like with the finding undrafted guys, but even in the draft, like Bam was not a high lottery pick, Tyler Hero was not a high lottery pick, and both of those guys have turned out to be really good. You said intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see how Jovic turns out. Just in this Heat culture, the development staff probably won't be asked to play right away, so that might be good for him. Like spend some time in the G League or whatnot. So, kind of excited, man. I think that was kind of like because he was projected like, you know, late teens, early 20s, and he fell to you guys at 27. So that's a pretty good value pick.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of potential, man. He's super young, a lot of potential, and it's like if it's one team that can make somebody like him work, you know, Miami is one of them, obviously. So, like you said, great value at that position in the draft.
Nah, definitely. Now let's get to some rumors, because there's been two guys on the trade block that have both been linked to Miami. We'll start with Kevin Durant, because I don't know how realistic it is, but you guys are still one of the favorites. Guys have the third best odds. I'm not a betting man, but third best odds to land Kevin Durant. I don't know what you guys would have to give up that even Brooklyn might be realistically interested in. But what were your thoughts when you saw Kevin Durant had you guys listed as one of his top destinations?
Initially, I'm just excited, like, oh, KD want to come to us. You know, everybody says in this day and age, superstars get to determine where they go. But realistically, I'm like, man, he going to Phoenix. Because nobody knew that the Nets wouldn't want Ayton. I didn't know that they wouldn't accept the Jaylen Brown trade. So the Nets want everything.
Yeah,
so
too much.
Now that we really know what they want, it's obviously no chance. Because we don't even have the draft capital. And Tyler Hero is seen as either a future 3-time All-Star or a 8th man in the rotation. Like I know the whole league is just so iffy on him. Like they go both ways on their thought process. You're not getting KD for Tyler Hero. So yeah, and I feel like the same way with Donovan Mitchell, because we don't have the draft capital. I feel like that's probably hurting us even more. Because Tyler Hero is intriguing enough to be the best player in a trade like this. I do think that, but our draft capital is just not there, and we can't trade Jovic for, I think it's 60 days after the draft, something like that. It's like
yeah, I think it like sometime in August, because that's when Andrew Wiggins had got traded. Whereas after you sign your contract, your rookie contract, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like the draft capital is really holding us back right now because we're not trading Bam. And any Heat fans that want to trade Bam, I don't care for. Not for KD. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting Bam in a trade for KD.
He does too much defensively, man.
Maybe I'm like I sound like a homer right now because I would do JB. And Boston fans probably feel the exact same way I feel about Bam. Like, no way. But I just think Bam is gonna be our recruiter, like kind of how D Wade was. Miami is a cool place to come play. So if you got that type of player that, like I said, can guard 1 through 5, when you out there with Bam, you feel comfortable. You know he can guard anybody. He's gonna make up for your mistakes. He's on the perimeter. He doing more than holding his own. Like he's clamping good players. So he can attract players down there, man. I don't want to give up Bam. He cool with the whole league. We always see him. He had Bradley Beal jersey on that one time after the game. Super cool with KD. Bro, he's our recruiter. We can't leave. We can't lose Bam. And he's great. You gotta be more aggressive. Gotta shoot more. But Bam is great. I'm not one of them. Bam, dude. We asked him to do a lot. I do want to see him score more. I do want to see him instead of like going straight to the dribble handoff. Try to create something first. I do want to see that, but still great, bro. Great player. Should have won Depoy. When he play more games next year.
If he played the right amount of games, I think he would have won it. He was probably my pick too if he played, because he missed a big chunk. But when he was out there, you saw it.
I'm not crazy mad at Marcus Smart. I thought Robert Williams was y'all Depoy, but
me too.
Hey,
me too.
That's not something that I'm like was up in arms about. I was fine, but I still thought Bam should have won.
Maybe next year for sure. I am interested though. Like I think Tyler Hero's ceiling is a lot higher than people might say, but like you said, with the trades, Brooklyn might be off the table just because they're asking for too much. Like you said, like I would give up JB in the package that we offered, but then when you want Marcus Smart and another player on top of that plus more picks, it's too much. So Brooklyn's asking for way too much. But the Donovan Mitchell one is interesting, and I think, like you mentioned, like y'all not having picks probably hurt you more there, because I think they would be like Tyler Hero and a ton of draft picks. Sure, we'll take that. But the fact that you guys don't have many of your own picks just makes that trade a little more not doable for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's just tough because I love Tyler Hero game, but Donovan Mitchell, Miami, that's like the ecosystem he need around him. Like I do feel like he has the potential to be a solid defender if he plays somewhere else. That's what he came into the league playing, super long wingspan, super strong. It's on him. If he wants to play defense, okay defense, he can play okay defense. It's literally on him. So going to a team like Miami, he would be our go-to scorer, of course, but he won't even have that workload. Still got Jimmy, and Jimmy, if he goes to a second option and can like play make just as much as score, or like play make for others as much as score, and we still can get playoff Jimmy because when it's a big game, he gonna step up. So yeah, Spider, it kind of hurt not being able to get him. I kind of expected this offseason we would get Donovan Mitchell. Kind of, just like when all the Rudy Gobert stuff. I just feel like the Jazz will break it up with both of them.
Yeah,
because I honestly thought Spider had more value, and I kind of still he probably still would do, but they just traded Rudy first. The first team that bid, they just accepted that deal because that deal was crazy. You had to take that deal. It was so much draft capital. So yeah, I wanted Spider bad.
Yeah, that duo in the playoff would be so fun to watch, because that's what y'all were missing, was just a second dude. Because Tyler Hero got hurt, and even when he was playing, it was a step down from the regular season. Kyle Lowry was not himself, and Bam is just not aggressive enough all the time. So you guys were just missing a second guy that can take the pressure off of Jimmy Butler. We'll see. Maybe a third team gets involved that makes the trade, happen. Maybe. I mean, we still got a little bit of offseason left. We do see trades happen late all the time. Kyrie Irving got traded to Boston, I think, in late August. Like, it happened. So still some time.
Yeah, that was. I was at the barbershop like, what?
Bro, I was at the gym hooping. I'm like, bro, we really just traded IT. I was hurt, but I guess in the long term, it kind of worked out.
I hate to say it so much, but dang, IT, that year was
crazy. That was like my favorite year as a Celtics fan, honestly. Man, but
the Wizard series,
he was crazy that series, bro.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
then the Kelly Olynyk game, like, yeah, that was good times, man. Even though we wasn't the championship team.
Crazy.
Facts, man. But we're in the stretch run here, man. The Heat have the 7th best finals odds going into the season, which is kind of like middle of the, I think they're probably looking at the PJ Tucker move like that was a step down, but still 7th best is pretty good. 48.5 win total. I don't usually get into odds, but I was just curious to see how the bettors thought about you guys. Would you bet the over on the wins? Because I think 50 wins is pretty doable for the Miami Heat.
It's always relative to the league. Like if it's a real good league, which it should be this year, not a lot of bad teams. Honestly, like coming into the season, or at least looking at it from the Eastern Conference perspective, Indiana, I think Charlotte they're gonna be bad. I think Charlotte, Magic, the Pistons in that order, and I don't think the Magic and the Pistons is gonna be terrible. So I bet 50 still though. We can win 50 games. With the Heat, we just gonna find a way. We're gonna scrap and claw Eric Spoelstra. We're gonna get it done. We're a great regular season team. We're an oil machine. But the half court stuff, it becomes more important in the playoffs. And I don't see teams implementing playoff strategies in the regular season to really take advantage of our half court weaknesses. I just don't see that happening. And we're gonna shoot the lights on the regular season. You know, they don't close out hard. As hard. It's just different in the regular season.
Definitely. And quickly, I ask every guest this. In your opinion, what is a successful outcome for the Miami Heat going into the 2023 season?
Man, the roster stays as is. I think we should have home court. And we match up well with a lot of teams. Even though we're not better than teams, we don't always have that guy. We still got a chance. We still got a puncher's chance because of our defense, and Jimmy can turn psycho. And hopefully Tyler Hero can really take that next step with the on-ball stuff. That's something that's going to be super important. That stuff is hard to do. Take like a real leap with the on-ball stuff. But that's important for our team too. Because if we can't get a player like Spider, we need to get one. And hopefully Hero can do that, but I don't know. It's tough. So we should get home court, win a playoff series. Hope we match up well with the Bucks or Boston, which we do. We can beat those teams. Like we might not be favored, and we might not, but we can. It's like it's possible. It's not like this crazy. Oh, it's the biggest upset ever. Like no, he has played both of those teams well. So just do that. That's what I feel like.
Definitely, I love it. Heat culture always got a chance, man, for sure. But Zoom's about to kick us off. Don't got the upgraded package. My guy Smoke, I appreciate you joining the channel. We got to chop it up again sometime, man. I just want to talk basketball in general.
We can start going live, bro.
Yeah, we should for sure, bro. But like I mentioned before, all of his links will be in the description. Leave a like on this video, subscribe also. And we'll catch y'all next time with the next installment of the What's Next series. We out.
Appreciate you, bro.